Good morning, golfers. Welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast where we talk about golf, how to play better golf, how to pursue better golf, how to dial in your learning curve. Everyone's kind of on their own unique journey in golf. It's part of what makes it fun. My name is Tim Connor. I'm the host of this golf talk / podcast, whatever you want to call it. We're here to help crush the golf learning curve. It's what it's all about, baby. You're practicing wrong. You're practicing golf wrong. It's likely so. Especially if you're plateaued, you're practicing wrong. So answer this question. Have you done skills and drills lately? Have you practiced exactly like you play lately? Have you done some type of tempered practice where you're breaking things down in a manner that's not a full golf swing, full speed? Have you went out and just hit creative golf shots lately? There's so many ways you can practice to help keep you from hitting your next plateau. And I want you to understand them. Every style of practice is different for a person where they're at in their learning curve. As a beginning learner, block practice is very important. It's important that you go practice a lot, often. You're just getting a lot of reps in. But good reps will get you faster than bad reps will. Okay, but block practice is very important. As someone who's a more proficient golfer, more of a randomized style of practice can be very beneficial. Style of practice in which you maybe hit a 9-iron, then you hit a 7-iron, and then you hit a driver, and then you punch a sand wedge. Because ultimately when we end up playing golf is a very dynamic game. The game's always changing. So for you to be a master technician with your golf club, it's not about black and white. It's about being able to use your club and apply it to hit the different kind of shots and shot styles that you're going to run into while you're playing golf. In a round of golf, you might need to hit a high, you might need to hit a low, you might need to hit a left, you might need to hit a right, and it's important that you're equipped to hit all of those shots. So I guess the easiest way to break this down would be, I'll give you some different styles of practice, and with those styles of practice, who it might be beneficial for or how you might consider allocating your time for that style of practice. Block practice, as I mentioned earlier, basically means you're just going to be getting a lot of reps. Even full speed reps, half swing reps, whatever. Block practice means you're going to go hit a lot of golf balls. All right? This could be important. This is what most of you do most often. All right? You just go hit balls. You don't necessarily have a plan. You don't necessarily have a shot style you're working on. You don't necessarily have a piece of technique you're working on. You're just hitting golf balls. Okay, so block practice is a good form of practice for getting in repetition, especially in the beginning phases of learning. Technique practice. So important, you guys. If we're to divide this pie into 100% of the pie, technique practice should allocate 10 to 20% of your time or more if you're a learning beginner. Technique is very, very important. Great golfers have great technique. There can be a variety of great techniques that play good golf, but we want to take the time to develop our technique. So important. And this is the kind of thing for a lot of people. You can do technique in your living room. You can do technique in your backyard. You can do things that are going to help your technique wherever you're at in your office. So allocate some of your time to practicing your technique. If you're a learning beginner as well, make sure you're learning that technique because your technique is going to benefit you so much down the road. As you grow with the game of golf and you become more mature and maybe you're a single-digit handicap, your technique becomes less important than a beginner, but it's still very, very important. We want to have a good functional golf swing. We want to have good ball striking. We want to be able to hit more greens, and good technique is something that will allow you to do that. So even as you hit the advanced stages of golf, you should still have a focus. You should still have some focus on your technique, monitoring your technique, and your technique will change over the course of time. So it's important that you are to keep your eyes on it. You heard me mention skills and drills earlier. This is so important. Junior golfers, skills and drills are such a fun way to practice. Adult golfers, skills and drills are a great way to keep your learning curve fresh, to keep you using the creative part of your brain, to help you learn different skills that are going to help you grow with the game. Now, I would consider skills and drills style of practice as a creative version of practice, but also just something that should be, again, a portion of your practice portfolio. Now, an example of this might be, to keep it simple, let's hit 3 fades in a row. Then let's hit 3 draws in a row. Let's hit 3 punch shots under this tree branch. Then let's hit 3 shots over the tree branch, or, some simulated version of that. Skills and drills is infinite in the way you can apply it. There's a lot of great stuff you can do. And but it should be definitely part of your practice portfolio. Practicing how you play. This is very important, you guys. And there's some nuance to this that I think a lot of people don't understand because I don't see it happening very often. So, and I call this performance practice. You need to dial in your performance practice if you want to play really well when it matters. Okay? Performance practice, I would consider practicing exactly like you would play. So the timing of how you move, going through your pre-shot routine, doing all the little things that add up to you being able to make it happen when it really counts. So for example, if I'm doing performance practice, I'm going to step back behind my golf ball. I'm going to select my target. I'm going to step alongside my golf ball. I'm going to go through my pre-shot routine. I'm going to hit that golf ball, put my best focus on hitting the shot at hand. Okay, that's performance practice. Performance practice is actually very mentally straining because it's going to require you to really lock in. Just like those moments that matter the most are going to require you to lock in. Now, performance practice, it depends on where you're at in your stage of learning. As a beginner, performance practice isn't that important. But as someone who's maturing with the game, single-digit handicap, 15, 20 handicap, you want to start performing better more often. You want to be adding more and more performance practice to your practice portfolio. Another style of performance practice is playing a golf hole mentally. So say your first hole is a dogleg left, 360-yard par 4. You hit the shot off the tee that you think makes sense. And then depending on how that shot goes, you hit the next shot that makes sense. And then maybe you chip one. Performance practice it's important, you guys. It should be part of your portfolio. Now, all of these things I mentioned today are important styles of practice. And how much of that style you should incorporate, there's not necessarily a firm guideline for. It depends on where you're at in your learning curve. It depends on your learning style. It depends on your capacity to practice. There are players that practice better on the range, and there are players that practice better on the course. You just kind of have to figure out your learning style, what works best for you, and consider all of these things I gave you like an outline. And it gives you some frameworks, some ideas, some things that you can implement if you feel like you're not executing whatever it is you're trying to execute. If your technique sucks, implement more technique practice. If you're not closing under pressure, implement more performance practice. If you're a beginner and you're developing some good habits, make sure you're hitting a lot of golf balls, doing a lot of block practice. All of these things are good. They're good pillars of a successful practice routine. This has been a fun podcast. I love this kind of stuff because we're not necessarily talking about the X's and O's of technique. We're talking about broad concepts that can help you in a lot more ways than just learning technique. And I think that's cool. If I missed anything today, let me know if there's a style of practice that I didn't talk about that you find to be interesting or productive for you. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it here. Share this thing with a friend. Leave it a review wherever you're listening to it. Leave me a comment. I love hearing from y'all. And I will catch you back here, same time, same place, next week.